Hello, welcome to Karma's a Stitch. I'm Tanya. If you're new to our channel, thanks for coming by. And if you're returning, you guys, it's so great to have everybody here. We have had such a wonderful, I guess I should say, week and a half. I do have an FO and I have several cast-ons because we did have a cast-on party this last weekend. And what a fantastic time. There were several new people. And a couple of the new folks did message me later and was like, wow, it was just like hanging out with old friends, even though it was their first time. Or wow, it was like sitting around knitting with family. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what we are. And it was just absolutely fantastic. It was a wonderful day. And I got to meet several of you guys, which was fun. I hope you guys had a good time if you did get to participate. But yes, it is Wednesday morning and I have just gotten back home from dropping Anthony, who is my son. I just dropped him off at college. He's taking some college classes. He's taking a college class and I'm on my way to the yarn shop because I volunteer at the yarn shop on Wednesdays. So I wanted to get this recorded before I headed to the shop this morning for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want to wear my FO. And number two, I need to roll the dice. I finished my project and I need to roll the dice and see what I'm going to work on this week. So let's get to it because I do want to put on my FO. If you guys watched the last episode, I rolled the outline tee, and it was by Jessie May Designs, and this is the second one that I've done. This time I made a smaller size, which obviously would have left me with a little bit more yarn. I did make it a bit longer than the first one, but I still had, let's see. That much left, which isn't much. We are in the middle of a move, and so but I have my scale here now. So I will be weighing this one as well as my Kalara and getting those two finished projects in my spreadsheet for yardage that I've crafted this year. So here is the project. It's called the Outline Tee by Jessie May Designs. It is a crop top and it has this amazing design feature in several locations of this top. And that's basically a dropped stitch. It's a bottom up. And so you start down here, you do your ribbing and you have a setup row, okay, which stops this stitch from dropping through the ribbing. So you have a setup row and then the rest of it is just knit. And then when you get up to the top and you're ready to seam the shoulders, because you do the front and the back, and you're ready to seam the shoulders, you actually drop a stitch and unravel it all the way down. And hopefully your stitches didn't go awry so that the stitch that you drop up here actually aligns with the setup row and the stitch that's going to stop it down here. It's such a fun pattern and it's so easy to follow. So I did use the same material that I used for my previous one, and it is recycled denim. It's Queenland Collection Dungarees Rainbow Tweed, and it's spun from recycled jeans. I ended up using 3 different types and sizes of needles. So I ended up using my Lantern Moon DPNs for my sleeves. These were a US 3 or 3.25 millimeter. I used a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter, my Likey, if I'm saying that wrong, I'm so sorry. So my Likey driftwood, US 5, and that was for the body of my top. And then I used like a 16-inch circular US 3 for when the circumference of my sleeve was a little bit bigger. And I'll show you what I ended up doing with that. So when you guys saw this top, I was here. So I just done the ribbing and made it up just a couple of inches. And now I have a top. And as you can see, it's a bit transparent, but it is fantastic as a summer top to go over dresses or tank tops. So I did add a bit extra to the sleeves. I wanted a little bit of a flare, so I did some short rows around the sleeves so it's not quite as bulky on my underarm. And I increased the stitch count here so it gave me a bit of a ruffle. I have not woven my ends yet, you guys, but I'm wearing it to the shop today, so that will be done. So let's see. And I'll move you guys back, or I'll stand up so that you can see it. Isn't that so cute? So it's got a couple of drop stitches along the back and then a couple on the front. And I haven't blocked it, but honestly, I don't know that I will today. So yes, I'm so excited about this. I was at the yarn or the nail salon yesterday, and I was getting my nails and my toes done, and I was finishing up the sleeves, and I was seated next to this incredibly positive lady. She was so excited about, she asked what I was making, and she learned how to crochet. I think she said she taught herself how to crochet back in December. And she's just, it's just this hobby, this craft, this pastime has allowed me conversation starters with so many fantastic people anywhere, in restaurants, in grocery stores, when I'm just sitting there at the front waiting for customer service. I always have a project with me. At the nail salon. So yes, I finished it. I finished it last night and I love it. I love the sleeves. Like I said, I do have a little bit of material left. I will have some, I'm going to call it housekeeping, because I do now have 2 projects that I need to add to my spreadsheet, but I was waiting for my scale to make the move. So, FO. I'm so excited. I have another project I can mark off my list. I'll see if I can get because I'll be at the yarn shop today. I'll see if I can remember to get a picture of my project list. And yeah, you guys, let's talk about the new cast-ons so I can add those to my whip wall and roll the dice for this week. We're gonna start with this one. This is in my Two Rivers Bookstore Weird Sisters Yarn Shop bag. And this was a super cute shop that I went into in Oregon with my brother, or with Anthony, my son. We were on a road trip, and we ended up checking out a couple of yarn shops. And this yarn shop was also a bookstore, and it was such a cute bookstore. Anyway, so this project, sorry about the crinkling, it is designed by Other Loops, and it is called Reverse Loop Sweater. And I did talk about these last time to let you guys know kind of what I was thinking about casting on. But if you missed that episode, I do want to share these with you guys, show you my progress before I add them to the whip wall. So here's the top that I will be making. This is not a stripe. That's a toner issue with my printer. But I love the sleeve detail. I love how open and bells, I don't know if these would be bell sleeves because it's kind of just a straight shot. It doesn't flare out. And I am using Noro, and it's called Compietto. And it's 35% silk, 35% cotton, and 30% polyamide. There's 450 meters per 150 grams, which is what this is. Oh, you guys, and it's so soft. It really is going to be more like a sweatshirt, I would imagine. And here is, and this project starts on the back. So here's my progress. And this is how far I got on the, during the cast on party. So this will be the back neck portion. And then I've got the increases that go out. It's a little bit of detail for the sides. And this is, I know it, these are the purl stitches, and this typically is the wrong side, but this is called the reverse loop top. And so this is actually the right side. So here's my progress for this top. And it is being done on a US 7. And we are going to put this project right here. And that is where we took the outline tee from last week. So Lily is playing in the bedroom, and you know, little door stops that have the springs on them. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I'm sure you can hear it. She plays with it. If she keeps doing it, I'll put it away. I'll put her away. So this project was my Radent Cardigan. And this is by Amba O'Brien. Let's see if there's a picture. I know there's a picture. And this is being done, I'm doing this with my Little Lycac yarn advent calendar. I did get all the colors the way I want them. I have them in bags, numbered, so that I know what order I want to do the cardigan in. And you guys, as I printed this pattern, I was so excited because it has, and I don't know what part of this to share with you, but it has like a progress sheet. It's a whole page where it's got the row and the stitch count and what color you should be doing, and if it's an increase row, and you just mark off as you've gotten it finished. So I thought that was incredibly handy. And it's got one of these pages per size. So each size that's written into this project, or each size that's written into this pattern, has one of these progress sheets, correlates with it. I am gonna go put Lily away so she does not keep grabbing that. I will be right back. Okay, so let me show you the progress on my Radent Cardigan. Here is the cuff. And I started my second color. So it'll be the cuff. Here is color 1, color 2, and I'll see if I still have a picture of the order that I put it in. If I do, I'll include that here. But this is being done on a US 6. And it does go through 25 colors, I believe, 24 colors. And I wasn't sure what advent I wanted to use with this project, but I knew I wanted to do this project. So we will put this project, I'm going to set it here so I don't have to get up for each one, and I'll put them all over here when the time is right. So this project bag actually has 2 projects in it. And this is something I'm doing for Alex. The yarn shop that I have, one of the local yarn shops here that I volunteer at, when you order certain yarn or wool material, they send you free samples, or they send you test knits that are done in the material, so people sample knits, and like 1-page patterns. Now, this pattern is available on Ravelry. However, it is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. It's called the Leah Bag, and it's designed by Ursula McGrath. And I am making 2 of these because I'm making them for Alex and one of her little friends. And if you're unfamiliar, Alex is my 8-year-old. And this is printed in black and white. You can't really see the detail. I'm so sorry. But it's made out of cotton. It's made out of Queensland Collection cotton. And the reason I'm making 2 is because it's just a handbag. The reason I'm making 2 is because I wanted to do one in the material that it calls for, which is done on a US 5, but I want to say it's a DK weight, and the other one is a finer weight yarn. So it is done in coastal cotton, ocean mist, pure soft cotton, 100 grams, 185 yards. And I didn't share this with you guys last time because I had totally forgotten that I was going to cast these on during the cast on party. Now, the other one is coastal cotton fine ocean mist, pure cotton, but it's the fine. So it's just thinner. It's just a smaller weight yarn, a lighter weight yarn. Can you see that? Same color. I did cast both of these on. I'm doing the DK weight one on US 5. And this is going to be the bottom of the bag. And then the finer one I'm doing on a US 3. And this again will be the bottom of the bag. So there's those 2 cast-ons. And then we have my emotional baggage project bag. Just kidding, like it could fit in here. And this project bag is holding my pressed flowers cardigan. This is a make along or a knit along that's going on at my local yarn shop right now. And it's Pressed Flowers Cardigan by Savory Knitting. And she has this, I'll show you the picture first. This pressed flowers motif. She actually has it as a cardigan, as hats, as socks, a cowl. I believe there's a sweater. I'm doing the cardigan. And I'll show you how far I got with that. I got the ribbing done, and then I got my first row of color mosaic knitting done. I am happy with the contrast in color. this stuff is so soft. So what I'm using for this, the pink is Joby Long Alba. It's color blush, and it is 50% wool, 25% alpaca, 25% viscose. Sorry about the reflection. Don't know how to fix that. So this is the pink. This is the main color that I'm using. It's got several different, and they're much lighter, very subtle speckles in this one. And the contrast color that I'm using is Noro Kakagori. And this is 50% cotton, 30% silk, 10% viscose, and 10% palmide. And these are not quite so subtle. And so this is the contrast color that I'm using right now for this pressed flowers. And I think this is gonna be one of my favorites because it is just so soft. And the way my Douglas cardigan fits me, oh, I do like that a lot. So that is cast on number 3, 4, 5, I think. Oops, I've got to put the pattern back in there. Okay, next, my next project is in my ball sack. And this one, I am doing the Cozy Memories blanket. Now, and you guys, it's by Shelly DuPont, Polka Dot Creek Designs, I believe. And what I'm doing a bunch of different scraps in here. But what I have found is that I can use my straights that I got for my birthday. I got a set of straights from my birthday. And I can use a 10-gram mini and get the size that I'm looking for. And I'll show you what I'm doing. If you guys look here, you see how they have these lines. And they all, in this particular one, they're all going in one direction. Do you see that? So what I've decided to do is I am making a square. See if I can get this so you don't see all the ends. I am making a square where all of those meet in the center of the square. See that? And then I'm attaching the next color. Okay, so then I'll do the red, and all 4 of these red ones will meet in the middle. So I'll have 4 red squares. So I essentially here, I have 5 squares. This right here was because I had a scrap that wasn't quite 10 grams. But, so this is 1 square that was actually made up by 4 smaller squares. So that's what I'm doing with this one. Now, with this project, the pattern gave you the option of the regular size, I guess, but then it also gave you what they called the Memories Mini. Cozy Memories Mini. And it basically, the squares are just smaller. So I decided, because I was gonna put 4 squares together to make a larger one, I went with the mini size, and it's basically just a different cast on number. And this was really fun. I decided to do this because I've watched Caroline with Aria Bark Designs and Mandy with Mouses Makes. They're both working on one. And they were just talking about how addictive it was, how much fun it was, how much they were enjoying it. I have a plethora of minis, and I was like, what a great project. I love that. So I did cast this on during the cast on party. And that is my progress for that cast on. And like I said, I am using a bunch of different minis. I am doing my squares on a US 3. I'm using my straights by Chow Bamboo. These are all these minis are fingering weight. So, and then my final cast on for the cast on party is a pattern that came with one of my advents. It's called the Enchanted Delight by Penny Barker. I want to make sure I do it correctly. Hold on. Come on. Penny Baker. And this was one that, it's a rectangular wrap, knit on the bias, I believe. The picture is black and white because it was designed specifically for this advent that I had gotten last year. And so all of the project pictures in the pattern were in black and white. So the colors in the advent were a secret, and it didn't give away what the actual colors of the advent were going to be. So this is being done on a US 6, and the actual dyer of this advent was at the cast on party. And so I was able to ask her width-wise, because I have so enjoyed working on straight needles. How long would I be able to stay on straights? I will end up having to go to a circular, but for now, I'm enjoying doing this on the straights. This is my progress from my cast on for this whip, this cast on, the Enchanted Delight. And I am using the advent that I got in 2023 from Jim State Yarn. And she is in Idaho, which is where I live. I've never met her, but I've gotten her advent for the last 3 years, and I've been pleased with it each time. This year is no different. This material, it's just, yes, I've really enjoyed working with it. So that's my progress for my Enchanted Delight. I did end up getting these colors in order as well. I don't know that I put a picture, that I took a picture of it though. If I did, I'll include it. And I am keeping that in the project bag that came with that advent. So, you guys, those are my cast-ons from the cast-on party. So I'm gonna lower the camera down. We're gonna put these whips up on the whip wall, and then we can roll the dice to see what is gonna be worked on this week. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I think that was much faster for you than it was for me. So if you're new here, this is my whip wall. Okay, so I have these cubbies, and in each cubby, there may be, in this one, you can't really see everything, but there's 2 projects here. There's this blue one and this black one, okay? And sometimes there's only 1 project in each cubby, all right? So what I do is I have an app on my iPad, and I roll that app. Now there are 18 cubbies behind me, but there's not an 18-sided dice. So I have a 20-sided dice, okay? And whatever number that dice rolls, I go to that cubby. And if it says 1, I pick the first project in that cubby. And if it says 2, I grab the second cubby. This would be a better example. So this would be project 1, and this would be 2, okay? And that's the project I work on for that week. And if I get an FO before the end of the week, I'll come back and share that. And we'll roll the dice again and see what we get. If I don't finish it in that week, I will be back. I'll try hard to be back within that week, and we'll roll the dice again, and I'll put that first one back into the cubby, and I will roll the dice and see what we'll work on for this next week. So let's get these projects that I just talked about put back into the whip wall. I'm just gonna find a spot for each one. And like I said, I have 18 cubbies, but a 20-sided dice. So if the dice rolls number 19, I go right here to this black and white bag, which is a blanket, and I work on this. If it rolls 20, I go to this blue purple bag and I work on that blanket. But I've got to make sure I've got room for the whips. Shuffling some things around, trying to make sure that some of these bigger bags have a spot. Okay, so I've got everything up there. Here's my iPad. I don't have any apps open, so we're going to go to this dice app and we're going to tap the screen. So whatever this one rolls, that's the cubby I'll go to. And then when this dice rolls, it's just two-sided. It'll be a 1 or a 2. And that's the project I'll take out of that cubby. 5, 2. Okay, so we're gonna go to cubby 5, project 2, if there's 2 in there. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to grab the second project and let's see what's in here. Okay, so this project, I love this project bag, is a muscle burra. This is as far as I've gotten. Now this is one that I had much more progress on and I had to take it down. You can see this wool looks like it's been knit already. It's because I had to tear it out because I was making a size significantly too large. But I am doing this a 2-tone muscle burra to match these mitts that I made. So the top part will be one color, and then the bottom part of the muscle burra will be this other color. So it'll match these mitts. The wool I'm using with this is Trilogy Yak Sock. So this is a 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, 10% nylon. I've got mauve and I've got Cabernet. So both of these are Trilogy Yak sock base. And Trilogy, I can't say is local to me, but she's close enough to be local. And that is, so this is what I'll be working on this week. I'm gonna take this to the yarn shop and I'm gonna work on this. And I will see you guys later. Okay. So it is Wednesday evening and I am home from the yarn shop today. What a fantastic day we had. I ended up hanging out at the yarn shop a little bit longer because there was a class and we were busy. So I got to hang out a little bit longer than I normally do. But normally I would come back the day after I roll the dice and show you the progress that I've made from rolling the dice to the next day, and then I carry on with my week. But I ended up, this cord is wiggling and I'm so sorry. I ended up going to the yarn shop and I wanted to share these earrings that we have at the yarn shop. And the cool part about these, I guess you don't have to look at it in my ear, but these are made by a local woman. And what she does is she gets old metal knitting needles. So it's metal. It's got the 3 stars on it, but it's metal, and she flattens out old metal knitting needles and she makes them into jewelry. She's got bracelets. Some of the earrings, you can actually see the point of the knitting needle. And it just matched my new outline tee absolutely perfectly. So I wanted to make sure I got on here to show you. And I figured since I was here, I would show you my progress now. This stinking thing is gonna frustrate me to no end. See if we can get that to stop wiggling. I wanted to show my progress now, and then I can get this edited and uploaded tonight. So this stitch marker here is where I was when you saw it. So I had basically just finished the increases whenever I rolled the dice this morning, and I took it to the yarn shop with me, and I made some pretty good progress on this. So this is where I was this morning when I rolled the dice and pulled this project, and I immediately got in my car and headed to the yarn shop. This is how much I got done today while working at the yarn shop. Now, I am doing, in this pattern, I'm doing the adult medium. In the past, and I do have another one that I need to measure just to see how long I made it, because Mandy over at Mouse's Makes uploaded her episode today. And so she shared a muscle burrow that she just made for her husband. And she folded up the brim, and I loved the size of the brim. So I've sent her a message and I have asked her how long from end to end did she do that muscle burra? Because I'm going to do half that in this Cabernet color, and I'll do the other half in the mauve color, so that whenever I shove one into the other and then I fold up the brim, you can see both colors. That's my plan. So I need to look at the one I've already got finished from a previous project, and I'll measure that. Mandy's really good about getting back with comments. So I'm hoping that I hear back, but I'm pretty excited about my progress on this one so far, you guys. We might have another dice roll before the end of the week, but we'll see. So I am gonna go. For this video, I have 3 projects that I need to weigh and get the final weight and yardage entered into my spreadsheet. So I still need to do that. I did get a picture of my whip list today. I would have probably already inserted that. And as it stands right now, I currently have 32 whips. All of them are on the whip wall. With that being said, I do have another project I will be casting on by the weekend. It is going to be a gift, so I'm not going to hold off on that one. I will be casting that one on, so that'll take me to 33. But I'm hoping I can get this one off the needles before I do that. So wish me luck, and I hope you're doing good, and I'll see you guys for the next dice roll. Bye. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet. If you are new here, this is where I'm keeping track of the yardage that I have crafted so far this year. So far this year, I've crafted 8,733 yards. And the only things going in here are items that I complete. So I have lots, like I mentioned, I have 32 current whips. Sorry, I don't have my tripod at the moment, but I have 32 current whips. And the only time the total yardage is being added in here is when I complete a project. So this is going to be a little housekeeping because I have been moving. And I haven't had a chance to enter in the last couple. So if you remember, this was April's gift make along. And I'm going to weigh this here. And it is 15 grams. So I'm going to go over here to my pocket lanyard and grams used. I'll go right here. And that'll be 16. I'll hit enter, and I just use this as a basic 100 grams, 400 yard sock yarn, and that's just because I don't know what the yardage was on that, and so if I'm not sure, that's the yardage I'm using for all my miscellaneous sock yarn. So then it'll calculate, and I used 64 yards in this project here. So once I have it entered, I'll go over here and I will make that one blue because it is a finished object. And then I will put in the date that I finished. Oops. And that date was 4/7/24. Perfect. Now, the next item that I needed to weigh is my outline tee, which is the one I was wearing today. And that one I entered in up here. And I have the ball band, so I knew it was 100 grams. 459 yards is what the ball band said. And then I actually weighed it. And there were only 98 grams and 99 grams in those two skeins that I used. Even though the label said 100, I weighed it and they were both a little bit short. So I'm going to come over here. I'll grab the little bit that I have left. I showed you this earlier. This is what I have left. So I'll put that on the scale. I have 2 grams left. So I will come over here to my outline tee, and this first one, grams used, I used 98 grams of that first one because I used all of it. Okay, so that calculated all the yardage for that first skein. And then the second skein had 99 grams, but I have 2 left, so I used 97. So right now I have I have 2 grams left. This was 0 grams left. Okay, and so then I have my yardage for that project, and I will make that blue. All right. And then I can move on. The other one I have to do is the Kalara. So I'm going to go grab that one. I'll be right back. Okay, so with the Kalara, I used 2 different yarns. Okay, you see here, I used the Linares Suave and I used the Teal Torch Knits. Now the Linares Suave, I used all of that. So grams used right here was actual, see how that said there was only 94 grams in that skein? I used, oh, that's interesting. Had it actually been, if you guys recall, I'll show you here. This is my Kalara right here. And this is the one where I played Yarn Chicken. And I had to make a whole corner of this project in the darker color. See how it's all striped? The whole project should have been like that, but I ended up running out of the mauve, and so I had to use all of the darker color to finish off this project. And now that I'm back here and I'm looking at it, this Linares Suave was actually short 6 grams. So had I actually had the full 100 gram skein, I may not have been shorted on that project. I may not have run out. So I used all 94 grams in that project. Okay, that's a bummer. And then here is the Teal Torch Knits project. And I had quite a bit of that left. Okay, so I will put that on the scale. I had 13 grams left of that one. So here I'll enter 13. There were 106 grams when I weighed that one. So I used 93. And there's my yardage. I'll have to go back and look at Ravelry to see what day I actually completed this, but this was a completed project. So I will make those 2 blue as well. And there's my finished spreadsheet. Everything's up to date. I'll go down here and it's just added it all up for me. So I have completed 10,448 yards at this point in the year. So there you have it. And that is it for this episode. I will see you guys later.